about healing habits, the Healing Habits Summit that she has created that I was a speaker on. But Heather, let me tell you about Heather. I met Heather last year in Scottsdale, Arizona at a conference we were at, and I fell in love with her immediately. I gave her the book and all the things, and I learned about her. She left the corporate world. In fact, I'm going to read a little bit about her. She's an optimistic builder-upper, mama of 2 boys, mountain biker, and a fan of homemade and not perfect. And you know, guys, I always say perfectly imperfect. Let's be perfectly imperfect every day. She's a founder of the School of Living Lighter, and I cannot wait for you to learn about this, where she helps women tackle their clutter, uncomplicate their lives, and lose weight for good. Explore her DIY courses, monthly membership, and private coaching for your lightest self yet at the schooloflivinglighter.com. And I'll post this in the chat, schooloflivinglighter.com. But she has a huge summit that is releasing Monday that you do not want to miss. And I'm going to let her tell you about it while I'm sharing this all over social media, and tell her how you can, or tell you all how you can get involved and how you can sign up and all the things. Heather, thank you. Thank you.
Danny, thank you for having me, and thank you for that intro. And yeah, perfectly imperfect, right?
Yes.
Let's just get all that weight off our shoulders of having to be perfect. And that also helps with that all or nothing mentality that so many people have. It's rooted in that perfection, and all or nothing usually ends up being nothing. That's exactly right. All right. Well, yes. So we've got a summit kicking off. It's launching on Monday. It's free. It's online. It starts on the 21st. It goes until the 27th. And Danny, you are one of our speakers. Our conversation was so informative and so motivating, so inspiring, and just so incredibly helpful. So yeah, we talked to over 40 individuals across the globe. I think it was 44. I think that's the number. And we talked to functional medicine experts as well as behavior change experts.
Yes.
And that's why I feel like this summit is so different. There's lots of summits these days.
Yes.
And a lot of really good summits, but there's a lot of things vying for our attention.
Yes.
And with this particular summit, not only do we look at habit change, like why the heck is it so hard to change those habits, right? The bad ones,
right,
and embrace more good ones. So we look at the psychology behind that, but then we also map it to our physiology. So I'm not a doctor, but my co-host is a doctor out of Homer, Alaska. And so we look at the physiology, we look at what's going on there. And so for example, if you're in fight or flight, is that a good time to take on a new habit?
No.
No, it's not going to stick if you are in that constant stress state. And so we dive into all of that, the art and the science of embracing these new healing habits. And it was, I'll just tell you, it's a blast. And so looking forward to kicking things off on Monday.
I am so excited about. Tell them about what you do. Tell them about your School of Living Lighter and a little bit about your journey, why you left the corporate world, because there's so many people in my tribe and worldwide who feel stuck, who feel no joy, who feel like they can't make the change. And they're just on this hamster wheel, barely treading water, barely keeping their nose above water, and they're miserable. And it's affecting their health. It's affecting them emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, sexually, financially. To tell them a little bit about your story.
Well, I think you just described my story. That's exactly where I was. So I spent 20 years in corporate America, and I had some amazing experiences. So Danny, I went to Dubai, I went to Amsterdam, I went to Brazil, I went to Mexico, I went to Canada. I traveled all over the world. I had the best cube in the row, right? The one with all the sunshine, the very last cube. I had lots of really good things in corporate. But at the end of my corporate career, I felt so empty. And I felt lost. And I would leave every single day for work, and I would sit at my computer. And at the end of my career, we weren't very, if I was busy, I was busy, and it was fine, because then I was distracted from my empty feelings. But if I wasn't busy, I'd still go into the office, and then I'd stare at Facebook all day long. And some people would say, like, well, you're getting paid so much money. Oh my gosh, you're so lucky. And I'm like, I don't want, like, this doesn't feel clean. It did not feel right to me. And so the way I kind of lightheartedly talk about it now is that was my corporate clutter. I had a lot of clutter in my life, and corporate clutter, because I was meant to be doing something different. And so I went from feeling super, super stuck to deciding to walk away from all of that, to walk away. They're called the golden handcuffs.
Yes, yes.
Walk away from those and try something totally different, something that felt so right and so light in my heart. And that was to enter the wellness space. This has always been my favorite conversation. How do you go from where you are to where you want to be when it comes to your health and wellness? And so I did that 5.5 years ago. It was the scariest thing I've ever done, and it was the best thing I have ever done in my life.
You bet. When I left my former job almost 7.5 years ago, I was the most scared I've ever been. I mean, I've been scared. I've done a lot of things scared in my life. It's never held me back, which I think is a blessing, honestly, and maybe a curse. But I knew that it was killing me. I knew that it didn't matter that I was making good money, right? I mean, golden handcuffs, that's right. That's the perfect term. And I knew that I had to step out of the boat and do it. And Peter, if you believe in the Bible at all, he's the only disciple who stepped out of the boat and walked on water, which is exactly what you and I did, right? We stepped out of the boat and we are living our best life. You don't have to be stuck. And, you know, clutter can be a cluttered mind, a cluttered home, a cluttered everything. And joy is what we have. We have a birth date, we have a death date. And man, that what's in the middle is what's important. And that is your legacy. And are you going to live that dash or whatever it is in that middle, miserable and stuck and married to the wrong person, or dating the wrong person, or in an abusive relationship, or in an abusive job, or abusive friends and family? I mean, that's your choice if you choose to do that. But all those dead people in that cemetery out there, how many of them wish they would have taken the leap, stepped out of the boat, and, they died with horrible regrets. There's no reason to. And you are helping thousands of people.
Oh, yeah. There's a study, actually, Danny, you just reminded me of it. And it's a palliative care study. These hospice nurses basically asked people who were dying, about to take their last breath and that have their last exhale, what their regrets are. And the regrets were losing touch with friends. Regrets were not voicing their truth, not sharing their feelings. Their regrets were not doing the thing. And there was a regret of working too much. And probably my nuance to that is working too much in a job you don't like, and a job that doesn't feed your soul. So yes, it's very true. I mean, there's a study that talks about the top regrets of the dying. And we are in this beautiful, this is such a powerful time right now to take a moment and pause and go within and ask yourself, what matters most to me? How do I want to show up? If I'm not living the life I want to live, what needs to change? And usually what needs to change, the first thing that needs to change is your thought. Your thought about where you are and why. If you can focus on your thoughts, and if you can learn how to think on purpose, anything is possible. But a lot of us get stuck in a victim mentality. I was stuck in victim mentality all those years in corporate. And we get stuck there, but we can be the hero of the stories we want to tell. It's 100% possible.
Absolutely. I know of that study, and I need the link to that study, because I'm getting ready to do video this weekend, hopefully in the cemetery at home.
Oh, I'll send it to you.
I'm going to a family where the majority of our family people are dead, are born, are buried. And I'm going to, I don't know exactly what I'm going to talk about, but I know it's going to, and I had forgotten about that study. And I need to look that up on PubMed. So, all right, listen, my friend, tell them anything you want to tell them. I've posted the link up multiple times. I've got it on Instagram. I've got it on Facebook. I've been posting it as we're talking, and I'll have an email going out. You guys, if you don't get my newsletter, you need to sign up at DannyWilliamson.com and then confirm your email. Otherwise, you won't get it, and check your junk mail because sometimes it goes to junk. And you'll have the link also to this summit, but also lots of other things, our book and all that stuff. But Heather, tell them one last parting word.
Okay. So life can feel really heavy and it can feel really complicated. And what I want to share is that it doesn't have to be like that, that we can simplify, that we can go the simpler route, and that we can choose the lighter route as well. Anytime we come to a decision point, we don't have to go heavy. We can go lighter. Life can feel lighter. And I'm not saying superficially lighter. It's a much more substantial lighter, but it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hard. And if you want that inspiration on living lighter, we infuse it throughout the summit, throughout the Healing Habits Summit. Starts on Monday. Come watch Danny. Come be inspired from the other speakers as well. It really is a fun, different, unique event.
Oh, you've got some of the greatest people. Dr. Tom O'Brien. I'm looking at the picture, which is very small for me on mine. Margie Bissinger, who we were just on her osteoporosis summit. Me, Dr. Keisha Ayers. I'm just trying to see who I recognize off the top of my head here. Jeffrey Bland.
Yes, we have the father of functional medicine is on our summit. And not only Jeffrey Bland, but I also want to say, in terms of the behavior change specialists, we have Beth Handel of the Handel Group. And it's like, wow, if you're like, why am I stuck? Why am I not moving forward? She is a riot and she will get to the root. And Danny, you want to know what she did? When I interviewed her, she decided to coach me on the spot. And she's like, her name is Beth Handel, and she's a leading behavior change expert. And here's the thing. On the interview, I'm watching the recording button going, and she's like, what's an area in your life that feels heavy, that doesn't feel good? Let's work through it together. And I'm like, oh, okay. I had to actually just jump and go with it. And it was so powerful. I'm so glad I did. And so people will get to watch live coaching in action and get to see some of my behind the scenes of my personal life. Powerful. So yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, you guys can tell why I fell in love with her right off the top. So I don't know what day I am on the summit. I don't have a clue because I haven't read the emails or seen yet, but I'm excited. I talk about healing the child, the childhood trauma, and, to getting unstuck. And it's so important. And unbeknownst to me, this has become a big piece of my platform, our adverse childhood experiences and trauma. And I mean, it's really heavy stuff, and it really is working through it. But guys, sign up, click the link, sign up, go to Heather's website as well. What is your living? Give it to me.
Sure. It's schooloflivinglighter.com. Schooloflivinglighter.com. That's my website.
Okay, I just posted it right there. You guys can click on that as well. Click on the summit link that I've posted multiple places. And guys, we will see you Monday. I'm so excited. I am headed to Kentucky right now. I have a U-Haul loaded out there. The only thing that's not in it is my computer and my poodle. And I am driving a U-Haul full of furniture and stuff for my mom and all the things up to Kentucky. So say a prayer because it's a trailer. I'm pulling it with my 4Runner, and I've never done that. And apparently it's a little tricky. So if you see me on the interstate, probably steer clear. And anyway, so I'm going to be up in Kentucky this weekend, and then I will be back here, be back at work Monday. But you guys, and we start the 10-day detox Monday also, by the way. So this is perfect. So Heather, I love you. I appreciate you. You are, let me pop this up there. You are a rock star. And anyone who's ever put a summit together, I haven't, because I don't want any part of that stress. If you've never put a summit together, you have no idea what she's gone through. So lots of work. Sign up, watch, and just learn, you know?
Yeah, Danny, one last thing. These habits that we have, habits are a means to an end. And so if you're listening, watching this right now, and if you're thinking, you know what, I wonder if my life could just be a little bit lighter, a little bit brighter, a little bit better. Habits will get you there. And this summit will show you how to embrace those habits that have felt far away or just you haven't been able to anchor in. It'll teach you how to do it. It will teach you how to move forward.
Oh, it's fantastic. Great parting words. All right. I appreciate it, my friend. I'll see you guys later.